See how bitter this plant is? Like when I was like in my early 20s, right? I would eat bitter stuff all day. And I kept noticing like how my body was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. I was like, I'm getting healthy, But I had always been at the right size, It was just when I was short, I was a little pudgy, but when I got like 5'10", 5'9", I was very skinny. But like this stuff, right? You know, this is something you want to eat in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, this is a perfect weed, you know? This is a perfect weed. Like, this is some stuff you want to eat in the morning. Like, make a tea with. You know what I mean? Like, get the part that's not poisonous, put it in some boiling water, drink it. After you get done drinking the water, like, eat the parts that's in there. You know what I mean? Like it's all types of weeds around here. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want. That's what you want. So, when I look at what is food, food is in nature. Food is in nature. Food is not at a restaurant where they get plastic bags delivered to, right? And they put it in a bag where the public can't see it. And they take it out, sanitize it, and then start cooking it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not food, Most of the food you see in restaurants, like, they're pre-cooked, which means they're not alive. Because if you cook something, that means it's void of, it's void, right? It's void of enzymes. So you're eating some French fries. You're probably going to wake up that morning with your side hurting. You know what I mean? Because all of that starch is stuck to you, and it has no way of removing itself from the body. This is why when people eat French fries, right, and they fart, they smell it, they don't like the smell, Like when they eat meat, right, they constantly eat meat and they smell their farts, they smell their bowel movements. They don't like how the way it smells, You can eat asparagus and urinate, and this is how you know the asparagus is good for you. You can smell the sweet aroma from your urine that hits the toilet water. You can smell it. And I found out about asparagus when I was reading about Mike Tyson's workout regimen and Baron Davis' workout regimen. I don't even know if that website is still up. But basketball athletes, they have a lot of tricks. They have a lot of tricks. And I noticed that a lot of boxing athletes have a lot of tricks too to keep their health at a way they can participate at a high level. So, when you're trying to be the best runner, or you're trying to be the best jumper, or you're trying to be the best shifter, it's certain foods you have to eat in order to maintain that type of gravity pull, So if you're someone who eats McDonald's every day, or you eat, Chick-fil-A, then, you're going to feel uncomfortable on the court because you start moving around and that bloating turns into farts, Ain't nobody going to want to be around you. You know what I mean? You start farting, getting that bloating happening. People going to be like, oh, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't eat that stuff, man. Like imagine, right, you eating a chicken salad before an interview. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, you going to an interview tomorrow and you finna eat chicken. You finna eat beef? You finna eat fish? Like, no. Within 5 hours of that stuff being ingested, right? You're gonna start smelling it on your body. This is why I don't eat that stuff, you know. Potatoes, like if I eat a potato, it has to be a sweet potato. You know what I mean? And like even then, I'm putting spices on it, you know. Like my mother, she hates, because my mother, she eats a certain way that's like unhealthy. So when I cook my food, right, like I may boil a sweet potato, I'm always putting spices in it to preserve the enzymes. You know what I mean? Like, because if you're cooking something, you have to add spices, because whatever that main dish you're cooking, it's either going to be mildly digestible or just like it's undigestible. You know what I mean? Or it's just not going to be nutritious. You know what I mean? So you eat a sweet potato, right? You know, in order to ripen it, you have to boil it, right? But, you know, you take eating a plantain, you have to boil it, you know? I don't eat beans like that anymore, you know? I don't eat beans because they make you fart, you know what I mean? I don't eat that. And most I'll do is root foods, vegetables, and fruit, you know? That's at most I would do. I wouldn't even do soy processors like, you know, the vegetable meats or, you know, the vegan barbecue chicken nuggets and all that stuff. I wouldn't do that, you know. That stuff not only sits in your stomach, but, you know, it creates inflammation. It creates influxuance. So like I wouldn't eat that. You know, like, let me get a papaya, let me get some watermelon, you know what I mean? Like, let me get that, you know. And if I do want a fast food taste or something like that, you know, I'll get a za'atar, you know what I mean? Like, with sesame seeds on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll do something like that with that light toasted taste, you know? Like the best foods to like really, really eat, you know what I'm saying? It's like fruits, vegetables, you know what I mean? Like national foods would be like, you know, Somali food, you know, Lebanese food, you know what I'm saying? Like Mediterranean food, like falafels, you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. If you want that fast food type of taste, you know, like other than that, like nothing's going to happen if you just eat watermelon every day with peanuts, you know what I'm saying? Walnuts and stuff like that. Ain't nothing going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like literally yesterday, all I ate was fruit. I ate nothing else. That's all I ate yesterday. And then last night I had 2 big tablespoons of dandelion powder and water. Like the big scoops, you know what I'm saying? I had most of like a half a cup of dandelion powder, you know? You wake up in the morning, your body smells sweet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to get in the shower, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to do none of that. At most, you just got to drink some water, you know what I mean? So you can, you know, get the saliva going in your mouth, at most. Like, even with the type of toothpaste you use, you want to use activated charcoal. Even with the deodorant, you want to use essential oils, you know? Like, if you're a person who doesn't like to put on stick deodorant, which I completely understand because I don't use that stuff. I don't even know how to pronounce the ingredients in it. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's not good for you. But at most, I'll put on some essential oils. But, if, you know, I used to put on baking soda. You know what I mean? That helps. You know, but in these days where I don't wear deodorant at all because I like that musk. I like that musk scent that comes with that sweet smell, you know. This is why a lot of people don't like, because when I was in Minnesota, right, I was on a bus one day And this white lady, she had a biracial child. She started acting crazy on a bus because it was two Somali women on the other side of me, right by the exit in the back. You know, she was acting out because she was trying to say that they stink. And I'm like, I like that smell. You know what I'm saying? When you don't wear deodorant, I like that smell. It almost smell like a curry smell. That they smell like a curry smell. And like me, when I don't wear deodorant, right, and I take my milk thistle, I smell that milk thistle smell coming from under my arms. You know, the powdered milk thistle, not the liquid. You know, the liquid is not effective. The powdered form is effective, the milk thistle. Even any type of sweet herb you take, you know, you can put cayenne pepper under your arms. You can do that. Like, but I try not to do the dress up thing. Like, the best way to take care of your health, man, is like drink water and eat watermelon. Like that's the tradition of the South. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got the best athletes. You know, all the best athletes come from the South, and they all play football. You know. Great peace, Yakoki.